Well, hello, man cavers. On with the hat. We are today back with the van. We are going to do the cam belt on this and fit that new freeze plug in there what come out. I know, cam belt has been done for those of you that have just joined us. But if you watch my previous video, you'll see how this froze up. Pushed the core plug out of there. So we've got to take all this off. And yeah, I'm going to put a new belt on because I've got the kit already. So I didn't know what had been done. It hadn't been documented. So I bought a new kit anyhow. And yeah, it weren't until I took the covers off I realised someone has done it. But see, now it's been frozen. We'll do it anyhow. Roll the credits. Welcome to the man cave. Let the games begin. So here we are on our chair here. We have time and belt alignment tool kit to lock off your pulleys and different size freeze plugs, because the old one what come out of there had bent slightly out of round. So when I got the calipers on it, I was getting sort of 37mm in one direction and 34mm in the other, so I went bang in the middle at 36. I'm hoping that's right. I have a 35.5mm here, a 30mm here and a 36 here. I'm hoping one of them three will fit in there. But firstly, we have to line these timing marks up and, yeah, get this cam belt off, get this off, then we can push our new freeze plug in. Marvellous. We're also, before I put the new cam belt all back on, as soon as that freeze plug is in, we are going to just drop this rad pack back in, because it's ever so easy. 4 bolts. We're going to plumb the water hoses up to this engine and fill it with water. And then I've got a pressure tester I'm going to put on the top there. We're going to pressurise the system, to, number one, to make sure that new heater plug isn't leaking, and number two, just to make sure she hasn't got any other water leaks. Because it's going to be a fruitless exercise to do all the cam belt, run it up to temperature, and then find that it's still got a leak somewhere. That would be a nightmare. So we're going to pressure test it before we do the belt. But we've got to take the old belt off to put that new freeze plug in. All we need to do this little job, like I said, we have got our pulley alignment tool in here. You don't like them. Right, I think actually, I did actually set the timing marks up. What we've got to do here, there's a timing mark. See the hole here? That got to line up with that hole in the back. So we need to get a socket on this crank snout down here and try and line them up so we can get, I think that's 5.5mm, but I guess we'll see, won't we? So we'll get my alignment tools, which is a set of £6 drill bits. Oh, look at them. Do one of them fit? I think that's 5.5mm. 5.5 don't go, look. I think that's 5mm then. There you go, 5mm drill. There you go. That's gone straight in to lock that cam. There we go. Don't waste money on expensive timing pins, guys. £6 for a set of cheap drill bits will do the same thing. See, that slides right into that head. So this is perfect. That's now locked that cam in position. We need to check our timing mark down the bottom. I'm not going to lock that in. You can take the star bolt out and slide a drill bit in there, but I haven't got one. So what we're going to do, we're going to just wire brush this up and mark it, just so we know that's lined. Right, let's wire brush this alloy up down the bottom here. Oh, there's a timing mark on the alloy casing, look. I can see that. Wow, this old aluminium goes corroded. So for those of you that have just joined us, this van has not been on the road for 3 years. I'm sure some of you will do your own research and check the reg on the Gov site. Yeah, there is a timing mark on that engine, but just to make sure we're getting it right, we will just mark it. Down there, we have a timing mark on the pulley, and that needs to line up in exactly the same place there. So we're just going to put a mark on there. And I will do that with a tiny screwdriver. So let me come. There's our timing mark, which is there, look. Let me get my eye down. Yep, that's perfect. So we've got to make sure that this mark line up with this one. But when we relax the engine, the pulley, the bottom end of the engine shouldn't turn anyhow. It shouldn't do. I mean, we're not even going to touch that bolt. So next thing, let's get our 13mm, slacken off this adjuster. This is your cam belt tensioner. We need to just back him off, and the belt should go slack, look. There you go. That tensioner is now cracked off. Belt is slack. So we can now pull our cam belt off this engine. There she comes, she's off. There we go. Take this all off. You haven't got to worry about your diesel pump. That don't need to be timed. He says as it's quite awkward to get this cam belt out of this diesel pump. Come on. Come on, out you come, sunshine. There you go. There is our cam belt off. What cam belt did the guy fit? Well, he's put a Gates tensioner and idler on it, so I assume this is a Gates belt. This is probably a perfectly good belt. You didn't see a bloody thing I done there, did you? You didn't see a thing I done there. All I did was slacken this off and the whole belt come loose. So we're going to take this now right out, because we shan't be needing that. We're going to replace it. There we go. There's our cam belt idler out the way. Now we've got that top pulley to take off. This one here. There we go. And then hopefully we can get to that core plug and give him a tap in. Hopefully, he says. This has all been replaced as well, I can see. There we go. There is a little O-ring on the back of that. Look, why they put a little O-ring on there, not sure, but we won't throw these away because they are brand new. So, right, here is where our core plug has popped out, look. See that? Right there. So we need to see if we have a core plug the right size. Have I bought the right size? Too small. Oh dear. Do you know, I think that's the one. I think by the time that's tapped in, I think that's going to be perfect. Right, excellent stuff. Seems like we have a plug the right size. Let me get a rag and we'll wipe that out. So I've got my rag. Let's give him a wipe out. Make sure this plug is not... Just make sure this plug is not... Make sure where it goes in isn't pitted or damaged. There don't appear to be any hairline cracks coming off there. And it appears to be sweet. So we have our core plug here, and we have a socket what fits in there nicely. This turns out to be a 24, is it 22mm socket, this. So we need to just push that in there with a hammer. But before we do that, there's a little bit of extra precaution. We're going to put a little bit of Loctite round it. Number one, so it acts as a little bit of a sealer. And number two, that'll hopefully lock that in so it don't come out. So we'll put a little bit of Loctite all the way around this freeze plug here. There we go. That'll just help us with things. There we are. Right, we have our Loctite around there. Make sure that's an even band all the way around. Slip him in the hole. And we now want a hammer. Alright, so here we go. Let's get this little freeze plug tapped in. He's a little bit out at the top there. Alright. Alright, we're evened her up. There we go. I think our freeze plug is in there, look. Look at that. Excellent. So we'll give her a wipe with the cloth. Super duper. Look at that. Alright, that's our new freeze plug. Push back in there with the Loctite. Was that freeze plug the right size, or did it go in there far too easy? But it's in, and I think by the method of it being slightly tapered, it ain't going to force its way out there in a hurry. Especially after that Loctite has got warm and gone off, so I think we'll be alright. Our camshaft are still lined up. Our bottom pulley just hasn't moved at all, so that's good. Our water pump feels lovely. There we go. What's our water pump feel like? No play in that at all. Feels beautiful. Feels absolutely beautiful, so no problem there. Oh yes, I was worried that when that froze up it might have split the water pump, but there's no play in that at all, so I think the water pump is good. So I think what we need to do now is, where are our coolant hoses? We have one here, look. What's going on here? Where does this go? Oh, this one go on the front of the engine here, don't it? That's it. This one comes here and then down to the radiator. Where is the other coolant hose? It's a case now of trying to find our coolant hoses. I took the damn things off the radiator. Oh, no, that's an intercooler pipe, isn't it? That's not coolant hose. This is a water hose. Where's our radiator? There's our radiator. Alright, our radiator is here. So this little lot sits back in here, look. Just like so. There you go, that is how easy the rad pack comes out of a Daily. And this little bolt here drops in there, look. Same the other side. There you go. So that rad is all the way home now. You just put the bolt in the bottom there, tighten this top one up, and the rad is in. So we want to put this hose here back on, and then I've got to find the other hose that comes onto this one, round this side. Oh, which I didn't think was this one, but that looked like, oh no, that's intercooler. No, that's intercooler pipe there. So where's our rad? One in and one out. Are you guys looking at another hose? Can you see a hose I'm missing? We have... No, this one's a radiator and this one's the intercooler again. Surely there's more than one pipe going into that radiator, isn't there? Oh, I don't know now. This one got to come back on here. That's definitely water. And tighten the little clip up. This one here is definitely an intercooler pipe, which we don't need. Well, there is another hose. The other rad hose is down the bottom here, look. There we go, it's down the bottom there, guys. I've got it. You aren't going to see what I'm doing, but I'm just putting a bottom rad hose on. Which is right down the bottom here. So bear with while I just wrestle to get that one on. Alright, that one's on. Now can we get the clip done up? Or is this clip broken? Let me get these two rad clips bolted back up. And we'll be back. Alright, we have got our rad hoses bolted up. Is there any more coolant hoses we need to worry about? There's one here, look. There is one here. Where did this go? Where's it naturally falling to? Where did this hose go here, guys? Under here, look. See this? There's one under here. There we go. So we need to tighten him up. There we go. Tighten him up. There we go. So they're all tightened up. So we're ready now to dump some water in the top and see if we have any leaks. Right, let's get a hose in here. Somebody, I think I know what's happened. I've kind of worked it out. This didn't have no water in it. I mean, this didn't have no antifreeze in it. It was just filled up with water. Now, from what I gather, or from what I know, the guy was doing this as a camper van, and he half finished the inside, serviced the engine, went on his motorcycle and sadly died in a car crash, and the van sat unused for 3 years. His wife did not have the heart to sell it. I'm assuming he did the cam belt and did one or two things. He put the engine back together and never put any coolant in it, and the people I bought it from just chucked some water in it to load it and get it home, or he put water in it and no antifreeze. I think that's why that's all rusty around there, because it just had tap water and antifreeze in it, which is neither of them are that good. You need distilled water and antifreeze. But we're just going to put tap water in, fill it up, make sure there's no leaks, then we're going to pressure test it. So let me turn the tap on. Right, tap is on. So we want to try right. Ha! That is now. Is that full? Yep. Is this got any water in? Not a lot. I don't want to splash a lot of water about. So I don't want to go splashing water about here everywhere. So I'm going to put it in bottle at a time now. Because with a hose pipe you're going to get drips and leaks everywhere. And I don't want this overspilling and water going everywhere. So I don't want to spill water everywhere. There goes another bottle. She's definitely starting to drain away. Alright, our water's now full. So what do we do now? We're going to get our little kit out. If you haven't seen one of these before, these are coolant pressure testers. So you basically got a pump with a valve on the end here. And what you do is put a cap on there, clip this on and pump it up. Here are our caps. So we've got to find one of these. We've got to find one of these attachments here that'll go on that cap. Let's hope we have one. Is it going to be number 10, do you reckon? No. Is it going to be number 11? That's too big. Is it going to be number 7? Yep, number 7 fits. So now we've put our cap on there. And he's tight against that rubber seal. Well, oh, look, there's room, look. Push him on. And now we can be pumping this by just pressing our handle. See, the gauge is going up to show we've got pressure. So I'll keep pumping that. Probably up to, I don't know, probably up to 10 psi there or something. Let me get pumping, because I've got to do this with my right hand. Could take a few pumps. Whoops, a daisy. Oh, I got a leak here, look. Look, coming out of our rad hose, look. Let the pressure off. See how good these pressure testers are. It showed us that we got a leak on that hose. I think I need to put a whole new Jubilee clip on that, because it isn't going to tighten. Alright, Jubilee clip replaced. Water system top back up. I have spilled a little bit down here, but I'll know a fresh leak if I see one. The main thing is we don't want to see that pressure gauge dropping on this machine, do we? There we go. And if you wonder where you get these kits from, this is a cheap, generic Chinese kit off eBay. If you're using them every day to diagnose things, they're probably not going to be worth it. But to use once in a while, it's fine. So we have now pumped this pressure system up to just start on the red, look. We are on 15 psi. You aren't going to get a lot more than that once the engine's up to temperature. And we just want to see if we're holding pressure. Obviously, if you've got a slight leak around there or your hose, you're going to lose pressure, but I think this machine's quite good. So we'll leave that there a second. to do its metering thing, and we'll have a look. My box of Jubilee clips. You can't have too many Jubilee clips, guys. Let's have a look at our plug we put in. There she is. I'm going to zoom right out and hold the camera right in there. There you go, there's that plug we put in. Can you see any water seeping from around that? Because it's now up to pressure. Can you see any other problems in here? I can't see any water pooling anywhere down the bottom. I'm going to try and get you in all the crevices of the engine best I can to see if we can see any more leaks. Oh, them plugs in the side of the engine, they're good. Under that manifold, yes. Do you know, are we still holding the 15 psi? Yep, we aren't too bad at all. So I think nothing coming out of the water pump. Water pump is this one in here. So there's nothing spurting out of there, so there's nothing leaking underneath this cover. I can hear a tiny leak on this valve. Yeah, that's why we've dropped a couple of psi. I can hear air coming out somewhere. There's air coming out of this vacuum pump. Where can I hear air leaking? Is there any water leaking? Ah. Do you know, that's that bottom hose here. I think we've got a leak on this bottom hose as well. Can't see, but we know the engine has not got any leaks. I can hear air coming out somewhere, but that's not pushing water out. That must be this hose, because there is a slight leak there, look. But that's not engine, that's coming out of this rad pack off the bumper. So I think it's probably this bottom hose. Yeah. Yeah, I think we're all good. Right, pressure test complete and passed. Let's get this water system drained down again, get this rad out, and get the cam belt back on. So there we go. These little kits are absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant little kits. There we go. Hope you guys are enjoying the video. I'll put all that away in a minute. For now, we want to just get this rad pack out again. Shouldn't take too long. Alright, that's got them water hoses off. That one was just intercooler. This one was intercooler. Bending back round there. I got these bottom rad hoses off. Oh, I ain't got this one off, look. Oh, I got some water about here now. But thankfully, it don't appear that we have any water leaks on the engine itself, which is absolutely brilliant news. And where's my little cap here? I want to put that back on. I don't want leaves and crap going back down there. Can you see my water cap for this, guys? I'll find it in a second, don't I? There we go. That's how the rat packs lift out. So when Iveco designed this van, so you had to take the front off it to do the cam belt, they weren't as stupid as that might seem, because this front end comes off so easy. Somebody told me, oh, you know, the front end stripped off them in 20 minutes, and I went, bollocks. Turns out, if you know what you're doing, you can. Right, here's our timing belt kit. Where's a part number? There's a part number if you guys are wondering what kit you need for a Iveco Daily. Always use gates, guys, because they're pretty much the best belts you can get. They aren't likely to break on you. So first job will be get our little tensioner and idler back on here. There's our new belt. Be careful not to kink him up. Now then, here in the bottom of the back I have the water pump. But as you can see, that's a massive water pump, but I'm not going to replace it because this one hasn't been on there too long and looks perfectly serviceable. There's our new tensioner. Here's our new idler. Our water pump gaskets, we shan't be using them. Is there a little tiny O-ring in there? No, there isn't. Because if you remember, the other pulley had a little O-ring on there. Oh, there's a spacer in there, on with you. Right, belt and braces maybe, but I'm just going to put a little bit of Loctite on, because when you've only got a 13mm head nut protecting your whole engine, last thing you want is that wiggling loose. So a little bit of Loctite on, put him in. And we torque these to 36 Newton meters. So we'll screw he in. Where's my little ratchet? There we go, he's going in. There. Excellent. So now I need to get my torque wrench and set that to 36 Newton meters. Right, we have set our torque wrench to 36 Newton meters. There we go, 36 Newton meters. That don't feel very tight, but you got to remember, you've got 2 foot of leverage. Spins nicely. Alright, let's now get our idler in here, our cam belt tensioner. Did they give us a new bolt with the cam belt tensioner? No, they didn't, so we've got to reuse our old one. Let me check in the box. No. So we ought to now just put our, oops, Loctite, Mr. Fent. We want our little bead of Loctite. There you go. There. That mating surface is pretty clean. Now we ain't got to tighten this right down at the minute because obviously we ain't tensioned it. So we just want to nip that a little. Perfect. Because we still need to be able to get an Allen key in there and tension that to adjust it. Now here's our new belt. Let me put my lid back on here. Now if you remember, we've got a timing mark up here, one down the bottom. On your cam belt, you can get these on either direction. We have a line on the cam belt here, and if we move down, another one there. Now they should line up with your timing marks. So we want to line this line up. Let's get you in here a bit. We want to line this line up here, smack bang with our timing mark on the cam here. Pull it tight down onto there, round our idler. Now this mark here should line up with the bottom mark on the crank. That's the whole idea of it. There we go, we've got to back him right off. See what I mean? So is that mark lining up with that? Yes it is. We have come off the top. Do not fret. There you go, this one's now lined up here. So now we can be putting this cam belt back around the water pump, around our diesel pump. Remember, this diesel pump does not have to be timed up, so it can go on there anywhere. Alright, this is going to take a little bit of manoeuvring into place. Come on, you little swine. I think I might have to possibly take this out, because we've got to make up. We've got to make up a little bit of room. So I don't want to stress that belt and risk kinking it. So what we're going to do is, we're going to back this idler hair back out before that Loctite goes hard. Alright, that's loosened that, hopefully loosened that belt off enough so we can get it back on. It isn't going to, is it? It's going to be a little bugger, aren't you? You're going to be a little swine for me. I think we're going to have to take this right out to give us that little bit of slack. There we go. And hopefully that will give us enough slack. It isn't going to, is it? Of course, our mark is perfectly lined up there and there. So it's got to be right, and it got to go on. Let's get it over the diesel pump first, then see if we can get going around, because I'm trying to put it around the most awkward pulley, really, to be honest. Alright, let's get around that water pump. Come on, you little swine, get on there. Get on there. God, Jesus. We're not a tooth out anywhere, are we? No. No, we're not. It's just a crying game to get this back on. Don't be tempted to put any form of lubricant around here, because you don't really want that. When people do cam belt videos, this is the bit that they don't show you. The bit where you struggle, even with all the tension off, to get the belt back on. They tend not to show you that bit. They just do a before and after with the belt on. Right, you little swine. we can't pick up any form of adjustment anywhere. That's definitely the line for that. That's the line for that. We're definitely lined up. Yeah, that one's definitely lined. God, you little swine. Yeah, this is where it's not so fun. Because you have all this to contend with. Have we got to take this tensioner right out? I don't think that's going to make any difference, is it? Because we're tight from there around to there. So our problem is getting it timed up around here. Alright, now our belt is lined up. So we need to get this tensioner back in. Unfortunately, this timing mark has now slipped one mark out. Yeah, it's trying to get this bottom one back on. So taking this idler off didn't make any difference whatsoever. We've got to just struggle to get that back on there. Because our marks are all over the place now. We haven't got our belt lined up anywhere. Let me get that belt back on. Right, here we go, our cam belt. After quite a bit of cleaning with this water pump, I managed to push the belt on. So she's on all the way home. Never be tempted to push it on the pulleys by putting a screwdriver on there. Don't do that. If you can't push it on with your finger, don't. I just sort of pushed it on with my hands. Do not be tempted to get a shot like a screwdriver and try and push them, because that could damage the belt. Last thing you want. So there's our core plug. This has been retorqued to 36. We now need to remove our timing pin. That's gone a little bit tight. Check our mark. See that mark on the cam belt? It's lining up with the timing mark. Come down. We got no slack in there much. Round our tensioner. There's our timing mark on our pulley, and there is our white mark. So that's also lined up. So the belt's telling us the timing's right. And there's our mark we put on the engine to there. So we know our timing is perfect set up now. So we need to give the engine a little wiggle just so I can get my pin out, because that was tight in there. And that's obviously just nipped it a tiny bit. So let's give the engine a little bit of a wiggle. There you go. So we can get our pin out. And now we've got to turn the engine over a few times, just to get all the tension off the belt. Cool. Of course, you got some compression. Jesus. I'm going to use my torque wrench. I know you shouldn't use a torque wrench for things like this, but it's got quite a bit more leverage. There we go. So we just want to turn the engine over a few times just to get all the slack out. Make sure the belt is right and straight. Of course, because she got some compression. I say turn the engine over 8 times. We're not going 8 times. We don't need 8 times. We just want it rolled over a couple of times, just to make sure the belt is situated where it should be, and then recheck our timing marks. So we're going to come round again and get our line here lined back up. Just make sure that comes back in time with your engine. So far we're 180 out, so we might have to go around a couple of times. Just to make sure. Alright, you don't want to watch this. Let me keep turning this over till them lines mark back up again. Right, 97.5 seconds later, our white mark is still on the cam, and our white mark is still on the timing mark for the bottom pulley. So I think we are, no we're not, the timing mark's around here. Cut! Let's do this again. Alright, we have our timing marks set up. We have turned the engine over a few times. It's fine. We now need to do the tension on the cam belt. Let me bring you guys right around here so you can hopefully see what we're doing. There's our cam belt tensioner. We have an Allen key what fits it. So we've got to tension our belt up like so. Right, we're now on a spring loop, so this is now putting tension on the belt. We need to come to the first notch here, like so. Once we're up to this first notch, which is there, we can tighten this and let that go. Right, now we need to turn the engine over a little bit more, couple more revolutions, and then we can do the final tension on it. This is a job on turning this engine over. So let me get him turned over and we'll be back. Right, we have our timing pin back in the top, slide in there freely. Let's see if it's all lined up at the bottom. Mark to mark. So our timing is set perfect. So we now need to adjust this until the arrow, or until this bit was here, comes around to there. So we want a little bit more tightness on it. I'll try and show you guys this on camera, but I don't know how successful it's going to be. I'll zoom in much as I can. Here we go. Alright. So we need to hold this, slacken this one, alright, I can feel that's now coming. So we've got to retension this belt until this little trough here is lined up with the knot. See that little bit there? That needs to be lined up with that hole. Yep, that's about right. That just moved that bugger, didn't it? There we go, that's now tensioned. So we can now do this back up. 36 Newton meters if you remember. So let's get our torque wrench on our socket and go 36 Newton meters with it. There we go. Timed up. Most excellent. There it is. One cam belt. Take our timing pin out. And she is done. Marvellous. Back in a minute. Right guys, that is it for now. Cam belt done. I cannot put, state my glove, I cannot put the timing case on because our old one, if you look, is all broken at the bottom. If I lay him in there, there you go. That don't go around the bottom pulley, look. I'm not happy with that. So, I could not find one of these timing covers. I searched eBay, Google, breakers yards, the width and breadth of the country. Could not find one. Everyone sells them with the engines. I ended up having to get a second-hand one from Lithuania. So yes, that's winging its way as we speak. I ordered it 3 days ago. So as soon as that turn up, I can be getting that on. I've already replaced this fan belt idler, which was broken. It was actually seized solid. There's the old one. So we've replaced that. Yeah, once that's all done, we can be getting this back together. Front back in, water her up, battery on, see if she barks into life. There we go. That's it for this video. Like and subscribe. Sorry this is a bit long. Hope you guys learned something. And there we go. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye for now. Ha-ha! Core plug fitted.